Hi, this is Joe with Line 6, and today we're going to create a tone based off the U2 song Where the Streets Have No Name. Now, typically the Edge from U2 used a Class A British amplifier, so under Amp Model, we're going to select the Class A 30 top boost. Let's hear how that sounds. Okay, we're definitely going to need a little more from that amp, so I'm going to turn the drive up some, along with the bass and cut controls. Just add a little more treble and a little more presence. We're going to turn the channel volume all the way up, and we're going to keep early reflections the same, along with the cabinet model and the mic model. Okay, that's basically where we need the amplifier. Let's move over to the guitar. Alright, under the mixer window is where we can access all the Variax properties for this preset. Now, the Edge, during the recording for this song, used a solid body electric guitar with single coil pickups. So under the model drop-down menu, we want to select Spank 2. We also want to make sure we're not forcing any tuning, considering the song's in standard E. Let's hear how that sounds. Okay, definitely where we want that guitar. So now that we have that out of the way along with the amp, let's move over to the effects. So the first of the effects we're going to add is a compressor pedal. So under effect type, we're going to choose dynamic, and we're going to select the red compressor. I'm going to bring that level down to about halfway, and I'm also going to boost the sustain up a little more. Let's hear it with the compressor off. Compressor on. A pretty subtle effect, but you'll notice it evens out the dynamics and the notes while we're playing. Next up, we're going to select a volume pedal. The Edge doesn't necessarily use a volume pedal in this song, but if you want to use it live, it'll be nice to have on your board. Okay, next up, we're going to add the first of two delays. So under effect type, we're going to select delay, and we're going to choose the dynamic delay. We want to make sure that the tempo sync is set to a quarter note value. I already have the tap tempo set to 125 BPM. Then we're going to bring that feedback up a little more. We're going to keep threshold and ducking the same, and I'm going to turn the mix up to around 72%. Let's hear how that sounds. A pretty subtle delay while we're playing, but you'll notice the trails have a nice warm surging sound to them. Okay, for now we're going to turn that off, and we're going to bring in our second delay. And this time around, we're going to select the analog delay with mod. I'm going to bring that tempo syncopation to a dotted eighth note value. We're going to bring the feedback up just a little more, and we're going to bring that mix up to around halfway. We're going to keep the depth and modulation controls the same. Let's hear how that sounds. Obviously a much more noticeable delay while we're playing. It's really wide sounding. Also, the trails at the end have a nice modulation to them. Okay, so let's play a riff without delay. And you notice when I bring both delays in with the different tempo syncopations, it almost sounds like there's two guitar players playing at the same time. Alright, cool. Now that we have all the effects in place, let's go over to the controllers. Alright, so lastly I want to show you how I assigned all the effects to the actual hardware controllers on the Pod HD500X. As far as the amp is concerned, we're not assigning that to any foot switches because we want that on all the time. Next up we have the red compressor, and that's assigned to foot switch 1. The volume pedal isn't assigned to a foot switch, but we're controlling it from expression pedal 2. Next up we have our dynamic delay, and that's assigned to foot switch 2. And then lastly we have the analog delay with modulation, which is assigned to foot switch 3. If you're interested in using this preset, at the bottom of the screen you'll see a link where you can actually download the tone we created today for personal use. Thanks for your time, and we'll catch you on the next video.